multi-million-dollar brand new hotel projects, remodeling projects, again, multi-million, annual budgets, capital budgets, cost control, revenue management, personnel, safety and health, all those things fell under my responsibility at one time or another, and sometimes all at once. That experience, I believe, will aid us greatly because we have a desperate need in our community to really tweak the budgeting process. And also, that means you've got to get in, you've got to look at the revenue management, you've got to look at the cost control, you've got to ask the tough questions, spread that whole thing out and look at where you're spending your money. Do we need to spend it there? Come and talk to me some more about that.
Well, my experience has been, I've been running businesses for about 40 years now, and as part of that I've raised venture capital funding. I've invested both in private funding and venture type investing. I've managed budgets in the multi-million-dollar budgets in the companies, and I've vast experience in that. And also I've been very involved in 16 years of budgets with the city. And I think the process for doing our budgets with the city, given it's a public entity, are really quite adequate. We do a very good job of that.
Okay, perfect. Now we are in our final question of the night. The order will be Mr. Ron Thomas, followed by Ms. Carolyn Holford, and then finishing with John Dahl. Is there anything that you would like to change about the current operation of the city of Corcoran? If so, what is it? If not, why not?
Well, I think the changes that we need to institute in Corcoran are really things that Brad Martins, our city administrator, is advocating and has started the process of. I think we need to bring more of the outside staff functions, the planning and the engineering in-house, so that we can offer them to our citizens and to developers in a more efficient and lower cost way. And we have better control over them, and we can make the processes much more efficient. Right now it's very, very difficult for citizens and for developers to come in and do projects with Corcoran, primarily because we have the outside staff, and it isn't their fault, they're good people, but their hands are just tied because they're not close enough to the processes. So bringing that in internally will really help a lot. I think that can and will be changed in the future.
Well, I believe that since we do have the water and sewer downtown, I believe in expanding and modernizing that downtown with commercial development. I was very impressed with the 2 years ago when they kind of had a facelift of the front of Corcoran Pet Care and the bank and the florist. That really looked nice, and I heard a lot of compliments from people as they've driven near Corcoran. So, and I also heard from someone that they were talking about possibly having a fire department, and that would be something that maybe we as the citizens could talk about too.
Well, the biggest complaints that I have heard, there's been several as I've been visiting with people in their homes, is the communication, the lack of communication as far as issues and projects that are going on. That needs to be fixed. You are the people that are providing the money and to accomplish these projects, and if we're not communicating to you, what does that say about the council? I mean, you are, in essence, as a majority, you are the authority in the community. And a lot of times, especially in our day and age, that kind of gets reversed a little bit, right? Where the people that are in political office seem to be an authority above the people, but that's not the way it's supposed to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's the other way around.
Perfect. Now, each candidate will have a 2-minute closing statement they will be able to do. Let's go ahead and do with the order of, we'll start with Mr. John Dahl.
I'd just like to thank again everybody for showing up tonight. It really shows that you're concerned about your community, and it means a lot. It really does. What you're looking at here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is two vastly different platforms. It may not seem like it, but it is. I mean, on one platform you have myself, an individual, okay, that if elected is going to put the power of government back into the hands of the people. That means you are the boss as the majority, okay? For example, if you live in an area where you do not want your road paved, and the majority of the people come before the council and they say, we don't want this project for whatever reason, guess what? If I'm elected, it's not going to happen. The majority must be in authority over the council. Otherwise, what you can have is a rogue council that can do whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it. Which brings us to the other platforms. Basically, what you're going to hear is you're going to say, this is my dream, this is my goal, this is what I want to do, and if you elect me, that's what I'll do. And you don't have to take my word for it. Go onto the Corcoran website and pull up the videos of the past meetings, and you will hear a word over and over and over again in those meetings from the council. I think, I want, I believe, my vision, my view, my plan. Not once in all the meetings that I have attended have I ever heard a council member say, what is the people's view on this project? Not once. That is the difference between the platforms. Make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. I appreciate everybody showing up tonight, and I just want to thank you for being so generous and nobody yelling or screaming at me. And I just want to say, I pray that God will bless our community and our people and our very troubled country.
Again, I want to thank the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum and for all you folks for participating. I certainly wish my opponents and all the council candidates the best in this coming election, and I'm very comfortable that our citizens will choose the candidates that best fit their vision of where the city should go. Looking forward that our city has some significant challenges and opportunities. There's no doubt that our budget's going to have to increase to support the new services that we brought into Corcoran. We can't do anything about additional traffic that passes through Corcoran, but we are required to keep our roads up to certain standards. We're committed to additional staff and infrastructure to support the utilities that have been added for future growth. And good planning requires that we look at our future parks and trails needs. While we certainly have to be efficient as possible and limit our expenses, it is also necessary to increase our tax base to generate additional revenue to support that budget so we don't burden existing citizens. It would be nice if we could simply add commercial tax base and have that pay the freight. But in reality, our growth has to be comprehensive and be balanced. We need residents in order to attract retail businesses, and we need better schools, parks, and trails to attract residential development and create a robust community. I believe we're positioned well for moving forward. And by the way, I thought I heard my opponent say that we won't be ready for 5 years to do any affordable housing in Corcoran. We have the pipe on the ground over by north of downtown right now. We have proposals coming in for people to do development that could break ground next spring. So we are ready for that. We have a very competent city administrator in Brad Martins. He's done a great job of structuring our organization, and financially our cash reserves are where our accounts want them to be. So thank you very much.
Again, thank you for coming out. I really do appreciate everyone here. And we do have a great administrative staff, and that's going to help the person that fills the mayor position. We have 19 days left until we as citizens vote the national, state, and local elections. I believe I can give Corcoran and its citizens my experience with my education in the field of transportation, and I have also studied architecture. This understanding in infrastructure will help in planning and assist in developing Corcoran. It is because of the citizens' input, it has given me a better understanding of what we need for our future. This kind of education can only be earned by the government allowing the input of its residents. I am asking for your vote so that together we will find a win-win situation, win-win solution for the issues and concerns we will be facing in the future. And I really appreciate Ron and John Dahl for being here. It was a great forum for, I think, the residents of Corcoran. And thanks again to the League of Women Voters.
Thank you. This does conclude the mayoral forum. Please join me in a round of applause for all of the candidates. It's going to take about 5 minutes to switch out and have the city council candidates come up, and the mayoral candidates might be over here in this other area if you'd like to speak to them and ask them some additional questions.